Hey, can you find a water bottle for me?
Something so simple.
Hi, Max Brantley with the Arkansas Times on Friday, August the 25th. The big news in Arkansas today is about death row cases. First of all, Governor Asa Hutchinson made something of a surprising move today. He said that he will recommend clemency for Jason McGee, who's been on death row since 1998 for a slaying in Boone County. McGee was recommended for clemency by the state parole board. He's had a very clean record in prison. He was also one of 3 people convicted in a murder of more or less shared responsibility, but the only one to get a death sentence. Those things entered into Hutchinson's decision. He'd been scheduled to die in April, but his execution was delayed because of the recommendation for clemency, and then the problems with drugs put off a batch of executions. It looks like he will live. The recommendation stands for 30 days for public comment. The governor could change his mind. Meanwhile, McGee remains on death row. To balance that out, you might say, the governor today set an execution date in November for Jack Green, who's been on death row since 1992 in a Johnson County slaying. I don't think you could necessarily say for certainty that this execution will go forward. Jack Green has obvious mental problems. His attorney says he's mentally ill and not suitable for execution. There certainly will be some court proceedings on that. The state does currently have the drugs necessary to carry out killings. Back at the state capitol, Mary Bentley, a representative from Perry County who doesn't represent the Arkansas Tech specifically, has continued for the second day this week to pound Arkansas Tech for not spending enough money on its agriculture department. The school responds that it spends proportionately for the agriculture department and is doing well with a short time period. Bentley thinks that the president is paid too much, but we really think what's bothering Mary Bentley is the fact that it had a sex education program on campus that she didn't approve of. She's a religious right conservative, not a very pleasant person. She gets even with people she doesn't like, and I expect Arkansas Tech will have more problems with her. There was a town hall meeting at the state capitol last night. State legislators from Little Rock, Democratic legislators from Little Rock District, had it for people in Little Rock School District. There was a massive turnout. Some 200 people packed the room and overflowed, watched it on the internet as well. They got finally a chance to ask Education Commissioner Johnny Key if they'll ever get their school district back from the state and why they keep approving charter schools that continue to erode the potential enrollment of the Little Rock School District. I won't say they got very good answers, but you got the feeling that the state officials are beginning to give some consideration of the complaints being heard from Little Rock about a lack of say-so in their school district and the steps the states are taking to harm it. So that may be a good thing. We'll just have to see as we go forward. Mike Nelson, an Arkansas County farmer who'd said he was going to run as a Democrat for 1st District Congress against Rick Crawford, said today he's going to have to drop out. Says he has some legal issues that will prevent him from campaigning. That leaves Robert Butler from Marmaduke as one other announced candidate. He's a political newcomer, not particularly well known. Perhaps there's some thought that Republican Rick Crawford could be subject to a challenge. They've begun some TV advertising against him today in a campaign from some progressive groups called Not One Penny, and it urges Rick Crawford to vote against any of the Trump tax cuts for the wealthy and for wealthy corporations, which seem to be the ones that he has on the table. Does that mean Rick Crawford has trouble? Perhaps not, but if it makes him a little uncomfortable and makes him vote for the people and not for the rich people, that'd be good for all of us. Interesting speech was given this week in Hot Springs. Al Rajabi, who's the head of a corporation that's bought the Arlington Hotel, a landmark that's fallen into terrible disrepair in Hot Springs, blasted city officials for insisting on enforcement of the safety code and threatening to close the hotel if it doesn't get corrected. He says that's not helping his effort at all. He seems to want some help from the city. The city has reason, based on the lack of performance by owners of this hotel, which are financing this purchase, by the way, to be somewhat resistant to take promises of better behavior from them, literally at least. Rajabi may be getting ready to do it. He says he's about to start work on repairs to leaky roofs, and that's the first thing that has to be done before more serious repairs. Everybody would like to see the Arlington Hotel saved. I don't think anybody wants to see any public tax dollars invested in that effort, however. September 1st, that's next week, and that's the day that a new state law takes effect that allows people to take concealed weapons onto college campuses in Arkansas. It won't really take effect, though, because first state police have to come up with a program that will provide a a new permit and a new training course to qualify you to take concealed weapons on campus. UA Little Rock's getting ready, however. They've got some interesting frequently asked questions posted on a website now to get people ready for it. You know, you can ask somebody if they have a concealed carry permit. They don't have to tell you. You can, student can take a gun to a meeting with a professor as long as it's not a disciplinary proceeding. Going to be a lot of uncertain moments out there, I think, in the new era. You can take a gun into a dorm, for example, but you can't store a gun in a dorm. I don't know where taking it in and storing it crosses the line. You can also bar people from entering your dorm room with a gun, so there is at least that. Here's a piece of good news. The Arkansas Cinema Society began its premiere event last night at the Ron Robinson Theater downtown. Great movie, Patty Cakes. Good discussion between one of the producers and Jeff Nichols, the famous Little Rock filmmaker who's gone on to great fame from a start in Little Rock. Sold out events today for some Adam Driver movies. He's going to be in town. There's tickets available still Saturday for some good events. Ghost Stories is one I'm going to see, I think, with Casey Affleck and some other famous names, and there'll be producers there to talk about it. And Jeff Nichols, who's one of the founders, will be there to talk about it. This could be a big deal for Little Rock. It's a lot of fun. The Ron Robinson Theater is a great place to watch a movie, and they'll sell you beer and good popcorn as a concession besides. I recommend you take a look Saturday. There are tickets still available, and you get to go to the after party as well. So that's it for today. I'm Max Brantley. I'm resisting. You do too. I'll be back Monday.